Hey, good morning, everybody. Angry Goat here. Today is April 2020. See, if this car had a freaking date on it, I would be able to tell you. Ha! One of my pet peeves. Anyways, today I want to talk to you a little bit about my 2,500 mile review of my 2019 Civic Si. Thank you very much for watching. For all of those Ford owners that followed me throughout the lemon law process, I really appreciate it. It's really caused the channel to grow. I do need to congratulate Rodolfo Gutierrez of Modesto, California. He actually won the $2,500 voucher that I had to Ford. Good luck with your 2019 Ford Mustang GT. I only wish the best for you. So on to the review about the car. This honestly is going to be not a super long video, but it's going to be something where I talk about what I like, what I don't like about the car now that I've had it for about 2,500 miles. For those of you that want to know how I ended up with the car, I do need to tell you a little bit about that, but definitely watch some of my old videos regarding how I got this 2019 Civic Si. So on to what I like about the car. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about my likes and then my dislikes. First things first is I love the gas mileage. You know, coming from my Fusion, where I was averaging like 16 miles to the gallon in that thing. Currently, I'm actually averaging 26.4. That is with premium 91 octane here in California. It's the best gas I can get. And I don't commute with this thing on the freeway at all. What I mean by that is, yeah, I do have some freeway, like little blips here and there, 10, 15 miles on the freeway, but daily, I'm commuting in traffic. Yes, in fact, I'm actually sort of kind of sitting in traffic right now, hence the reason I'm able to do this video for you. So, I mean, 26.5 miles to the gallon sitting in traffic from a stick shift is actually pretty good. I will tell you that when I do get on the freeway with this thing, in 6th gear at about 80 miles an hour, I'm averaging like 38.5. So that's really, really impressive. So I love that. What else do I like about the car? I like the way that it looks. Everybody tells me, wow, that Civic looks cool. It looks fast. It looks neat. And I gotta hand it to Honda. It looks different. You know, it doesn't look like every other car on the road. It seems like the more and more car manufacturers go, the more and more things kind of look the same. And there are some niches to that. Like I said, like Mini Coopers don't look like everything else. But it's funny, you know, you look at some cars like Altimas and Corollas and Camrys and Maximas and Hyundais, and they all kind of look the same. I mean, hell, even the Volkswagens, and you know, Honda's bad for this too. Honda's Accord, I think, looks exactly like the new Volkswagen Jetta, I think it is. No, like the Passat. It looks identical. Like if you saw a silhouette of that car, like in like twilight, you wouldn't be able to really tell the car. And that's kind of a pet peeve of mine, you know. Make your cars look different. That's a big thing. So that's one thing I do like about the car as well. What else? It is sporty. What I mean by that is, you know, this car is not winning any drag races at all. In the world of every car has 400 horsepower nowadays, this car is not one of them. You know, it's got 200 horsepower. It is quick because, you know, it's got a really good transmission in it, and it's got good gearing, and it's relatively light. But, you know, I went out to my local drag strip the other day, and it was just filled with Challengers and Chargers. Like, that was the only thing that was out there. Challengers and Chargers with like 22s on it, you know, running 12.8. You know, this car will not run 12.8. In fact, I would be like afraid to run this thing because it feels fast. But when you put it on a clock, you know, it's probably not as fast as it feels, if that's easy to understand. My guess is it's probably a high 14-second car, if you can get a good launch with it and everything, stock form at least. So that's one of my things that I like about the car is it's quick. It's not fast, it's quick. Now, with that being said, it's fun to drive around town fast. It's fun to drive in traffic fast because it's small. It's got a great transmission. The suspension is phenomenal. That's another thing I need to talk to you about it. Is that the suspension is great. It's got like a Magna-Ride suspension on it. I don't utilize my sport button as much as I should. I mean, sport button's supposed to give you a little bit more boost, a little bit more everything, and I just don't really drive with it on most of the time, like I said, because I'm driving in traffic. Another thing I really like about the car is I like the suspension. It's got true LSD front end on it, and what's neat about that, and that really sets it off from the Civic Sport, is the fact that it's got true LSD on it. I was actually, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of bummed. When I bought the SI, I knew that there were a couple trim levels. I knew that there was a Type R, there was the SI, and then there was like what I thought was base, you know? And after I bought the SI, I was like, holy crap, I could get a hatchback in the sport version. And you know, it's got a lip on it already. It looks really sporty, but it's down 25 horsepower. And you know, 25 horsepower in a car like this, I know you don't think that it's a lot because you say 25 horsepower, but when you look at it in percentage wise, it's 10% of the horsepower that's of the car is gone. Not to mention, I mean, this thing has forged pistons, it has a bigger turbo in it, and it has that MagneRide suspension in it, which I think is really awesome, personally. Now, like I said, though, I do like the way that the hatchback looks. The hatchback comes in 4 doors. I can get it with a manual transmission, but the LSD is something that is not something I hear about a lot. And the LSD, especially if you're pushing your car, is very, very, very important. One really neat thing that I found out kind of by mistake was I was going through a red light where you're going to make a left, and I came up on the light really hard, and I was hard on the gas, and when I went into the turn, it turned yellow, so I tapped my brakes, and the nose of the car kind of dove down. I downshifted, and I hit the gas to go through it, just to see what the hell the car would do, and the car rotated. It was the craziest thing I had ever felt in a Civic, because I've never felt anything front-wheel drive rotate like that. Now, I've tried to mimic it with someone else in the car, and it doesn't work. I was making a left turn, so my weight was on the inside of the car. Now, I'm fat, okay, 270 pounds. My weight was on the inside of the car, and I was making a left, and it literally felt like the back end of the car flicked and actually rotated out as I came through the corner, and it was amazing. I was like, whoa, this thing did just rotate. I called my buddy, and I was like, Robert, man, look, this thing actually rotated, and it's weird because, you know, it's not a rear-wheel drive car, so that's really, really cool. Other things I like about the car is I like the color. I do have the modern steel. This thing is freaking beautiful when it's clean. Unfortunately, I have really bad allergies right now, you can probably tell, but you know, there's pollen floating everywhere, and it's hard to keep it clean. What else? I really like the transmission. The transmission is buttery smooth. I will do another video on upgrades that I've done to the car. As you can probably hear, I have exhaust, and I have the Type R shifter and stuff, so I'll do that in another video. But let's go over things that I don't like. All right, what don't I like? The car is loud. Now, not loud in a good way, and here's what I mean by that. Loud in a good way is, yeah, I put exhaust on it, and you can hear it. Loud in a bad way is I can hear road noise. On the freeway, this car is loud. What I mean by that is I'm driving, I hear the tires, I can hear the wind going by, and part of that is how they got the car's weight down, is by taking out sound deadening material, but the car is definitely loud. You can tell that it's an economy car and not anything luxury, because on the car it's loud. Now, I also put exhaust on the car, so that of course doesn't help it, but before that, the car was loud. My trade-off is I got exhaust, which I freaking love. It cracks, it popples, it gurgles. It sounds amazing, and it's not crazy loud. That's the key. It's not crazy loud. It's not going to get me pulled over, knock on wood, and it looks good. I got some quad tips. It looks great. I'll do a whole video on that as well. Another thing I don't like about the car is I don't like the interface here. The Android Auto, or not, the Android-based software. It's slow and it's clunky. It doesn't update automatically, which means that what you got from Honda is what you got. So if they do any type of firmware updates to the system, it can't automatically update for you, which I think is kind of stupid. In 2019, cars should be able to auto update on that. And that's one thing that I don't like. Another thing I don't like is it's piano black, so man, it gets a lot of fingerprints on it. Fingerprints and dust. And unfortunately, you know, that's something that you look at every single day when you get in your car. So fingerprints and dust are a thing that I really don't like. Another thing is I don't like the stereo. Stereo in this car sucks. It is not good. And it is upgraded. So I would really be mad if I would have bought the hatch. yeah, I would have saved a couple grand, but I don't have the upgraded stereo. The upgraded stereo in this thing, it's okay. I mean, it doesn't sound anything like, I mean, I'm used to having $50,000-$60,000 cars, so for me to jump into the Civic with some weak stereo system, you know, it doesn't have the bass punch that I really like. Another thing I don't like the keyless exit. So a really cool feature about the car is that when you leave, the car will automatically lock. It senses that the key fob goes away, the car goes beep, one beep, it locks. That's way cooler than a honk is the beep. I like that a lot. The problem with it is that it's supposed to give you 2 beeps. So if it locks successfully, the car goes beep, and that's it. All right, and if there's something wrong, like if your headlights are on, if the car's not in gear, or if the car's the parking brake's not on or something like that, it's supposed to go beep, 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 something like that. The problem is that the car is possessed. It will beep saying that there is something not right, and then you'll open the door and shut it, and it'll beep like no big deal. You'll come in the car, your headlights are off, the car's in the parking brake's on. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of funky. And once again, that's something that a software update can probably fix, honestly. It's just they're not going to do it because why? Because I can't remote update my system. Another thing that I really don't like about this car is it's 2019 and this car has halogen headlights, which means they suck. Now, I do have to tell you, Honda had to cut some corners, okay? This is a $25,000 car. I was pairing this up against, when I was going through the cars, I was looking to buy them. I was pairing this up with a Subaru WRX, which is about $30K, and the Subaru on the top trim came with like, I think it was HID headlights. Now, HID headlights or LED headlights, if you buy them from the factory, you're going to be paying factory cost on them, which, you know, add a zero to whatever it truly costs. I got some really great LEDs off Amazon that were just plug and play. They are amazing. They sit behind the projectors, and they match my daytime running lights. That was another gripe. The car has daytime running lights, which are probably like 5,000 color temperature. They're white. And then when you turn on the headlights, it's this ugly halogen. Ugh, come on, Honda. But like I said, cost cutting in some places. As far as there's anything else that I don't necessarily like about the car, you know, I wish it was a teeny faster. I do. And I know that I can fix that in the aftermarket, but I'm worried about the clutch. So here's the other thing is I would have tuned this car by now had I not worried about the clutch. The clutch that they have in the SI is the exact same clutch that they have in the Sport, but remember, you have 25 more horsepower on it. So if you go get this thing tuned by K-Tune or by Honda or anything like that, everybody says that you start eating up your clutch. This is a lease. I did lease this car. Am I going to give it back? I don't know. I don't. In 3 years, a lot can happen in 3 years, okay? But until then, I like it. The seats are comfortable. They're one of my favorite things about the car. So I really dig that. But other than that, I think I'll stop. You know, the video is 13.5 minutes. I do thank you guys for watching. Definitely like and subscribe if you haven't yet at this point. And we'll kind of go from there. I am going to do a video regarding my Type R shifter down here, which is really cool. It's a short throw shifter for about 35 bucks. I will give you some tips and tricks on how to install that because other videos don't do it. Huge shout out to my buddy Adam, who my brother-in-law, who was actually able to you know, help me install that. He's my interior guy. And yeah, I'm going to do an exhaust review and we'll go from there. I appreciate everybody for watching the video, supporting the channel. It really helps. Sorry about the little hiatus that I actually had. Like I said, I've just been really busy with a lot of things going on in my life. But that's what I like and what I don't like about my 2019 Civic Si. Have a wonderful day and happy Monday. Bye, everybody.